So today we're going to be hitting chest. My goal is to hit 315 at least for 2 reps. If I can hit 3, I'd be pretty happy. We're going to do some incline using a cambered barbell. Probably do some dumbbell chest flies and then some weighted chest dips. So let's see what happens. One of my favorite warm-up exercises that I like to do for chest is to start off with some light weight, maybe hit 20 to 25 reps. And I like to do that using an elastic band. I think it helps to warm up my muscles. I know as you get heavier, it tends to be harder to lock out with the heavier weight. And I know with elastic bands, it actually makes the lockout harder. So I think being able to practice that in your earlier sets actually contributes in a good way to locking out for your heavier sets, if that makes sense. But I'll show you what that looks like and see what happens. One of my all-time favorite chest exercises is the incline barbell bench, specifically with the cambered barbell, because it gives you probably the deepest stretch you can get other than maybe doing dips. Everything else, if you do regular barbell or dumbbells, typically your chest or your shoulders get in the way of the path. So you can only go so deep. But with the cambered barbell, it gives you a really deep stretch, and I've noticed a lot of growth since I've implemented it over the past year. I'm gonna do a warm-up set, still prepping for that 315. Now for some dips to further just warm up my chest, get that deep stretch, and feel like I'm getting a lot of flexibility. And it's a good gauge to determine how much weight I'll be pushing in my later sets. So depending on how these warm-up sets feel, if they feel good, then I typically know I'm gonna lift heavy today. So hopefully this feels good as well. For my first working set, I still like to consider it a warm-up set. I don't like to go too hard to the point where I'm fatiguing myself too early. So I'll probably do like 15 to 20 reps depending on how good it feels. But you don't want to get to the point where you feel exhausted, and you definitely don't want to go to the point of failure. So for my first working set, I like to start with 155. Continue with the elastic bands. Again, it just helps to warm up my muscles, especially since I'm trying to hit 315 on my last working set. So let's get it. Yeah, I think I could have done more, but like I said, don't get too tired. And the way I work out is I like to do a circuit. I don't like to just do one exercise, do that for 3-4 sets, and then move on to the next exercise. That's just for me psychologically. I feel like I get more done if I were to do just the circuits. But there's absolutely no problem with starting with your heaviest exercise, the one that you want to prioritize the most. So for most people, they'll do the bench, do their 4 sets, 3-4 sets, and then move on to the next exercise. And then all the other supplementary workouts, like if you want to do triceps or if you want to do flies, you kind of save that toward the end, which totally makes sense. But that's just kind of how I work out, especially when I work out at home. If I'm at the gym, it's a different story. I don't want to use up multiple stations, multiple benches, multiple machines. So it's easier to just focus on one exercise, focus on one machine, use it up, move on to the next one. You don't have to follow what I'm doing, but this is just what I do at home. A day in the life. For my dips, just to make it a little bit more intense, I like to add chains or a weighted vest. It also helps to push my body forward and isolate the chest. A lot of times people tend to lean back too much or have their trunk too far upright, which kind of isolates the triceps. So this just helps me to lean forward. And like I said, just add more intensity to the workout. Each chain I think is about 5 pounds. So 3 chains, about 15 pounds. This is just the first set. We'll go up in weight. Again, we're still kind of warming up. These are still working sets. So we still want to push ourselves, but not to the point of fatigue or exhaustion. So let's do this and then on to the second circuit. So for my second set, I'm going to be doing 225. 225 will tell me a lot in terms of feel and whether or not 315 will be not just doable, but if it'll be semi-easy for me. And if I can do 2 reps, 3 reps. So yeah, 225 is a huge marker for me. It'll tell me a lot about how the rest of my workout will go. So if it feels good, then I'll feel strong in everything else. If it doesn't feel good, then today's probably not my day. But we'll see. Put some chalk on. Okay. That didn't move as smoothly as I wanted it to. So this is a 40-pound weighted vest. Again, this helps me lean forward so that way I can isolate the chest more and get some good depth. So my third and last set, I'll attempt to do 315. My second circuit, I didn't feel as strong as I wanted to, but I should be able to push at least one rep out for the 315. I'll take my time, gather myself, drink some water, drink more of my pre-workout. In terms of assistance, I do use chalk, as you can see. I'll be putting on wrist wraps. I only used for my last set. I don't want to become too reliant on a lot of things like straps, wrist wraps, belt, even though I know they have their place, especially in protecting yourself and preventing injury and minimizing the risk for injury. I've been stuck at 315 for quite a while now. My absolute max is actually 340. That was with a spotter. I do not have a spotter today. I will not attempt to do anything more than 315, but hopefully this moves pretty smoothly. Let's do this. I backed out. Yeah, I really wanted to hit 2 reps on that one. As I was lowering the weight, I felt like I might not have been able to get it back up. I thought to myself, I really want to hit 2 reps for the camera, for the audience, but I knew it wasn't worth it. Yeah, I don't want to make excuses. I just hit 1 rep today. Plenty of other days to hit my goals, get better, but we're not done with this workout. We gotta keep going. For my last circuit, I like to do 1 or 2 drop sets after the main set and then go to failure, just so that I can guarantee, at least to myself, that I've exhausted the muscle and that I've pretty much pushed myself to the very limit. Leave nothing on the table. I think I started doing that the last 1.5 years, 2 years, and almost every day, the following day, or 2 days after, I'm sore in all my workouts. So I know soreness is kind of a proxy in determining whether or not your muscle's actually growing, but I think it's really the only close to definitive way to know that you push yourself and that you're actually growing muscle, as opposed to just working out and not being sore. Because I feel like in that there's a lot of uncertainty. So yeah, I push every set to failure on my last sets. Do my main set, do a drop set, and then maybe do a second drop set. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it did. As you get to lift more weight, you have between 0 and your max weight to be able to lift. So for example, if your max weight, your 1 rep max is 2 plates, then you could do anything between 0 pounds and 225 pounds in your drop set and take that to failure. Ideally, you don't want to go too light. So if your 1 rep max is 225, you don't want to just be doing the bar as your drop set. Probably want to do like a plate, which is 135, but really whatever's comfortable. For me, I like to do a weight that I can do at least 6 times. So at my 6th one, that's kind of my limit. And then maybe drop the weight again, and then do a weight that you can maybe do 10 to 12 times. The 10th or 12th rep being pretty much to failure. Of course, it's not absolute failure, because if it were, I would just drop the weight on my chest and I wouldn't be able to get it up. I guess it'd be the rep before failure, however you want to look at it. I didn't get close enough. There you go. Now, drop set. Almost there. Damn. I was hoping for 5 on that one. Ghost World by Alice in Wonderland. Such a hype song. Easier just this. And that's my chest workout. Barbell flat bench, dumbbell flies, incline cambered barbell bench, and some weighted dips. Little sad I couldn't hit 315 more than 1 rep, but just another goal to strive for. Now to do 15 minutes on the exercise bike. I got cold. This is my exercise bike. Got it for $150 off of Facebook Marketplace. Please, don't go buying your equipment brand new. Almost everything you need can be found on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, or even Craigslist. Even though Craigslist seems a little sketchy now. So be careful. Decent pump.